She has heard all of the submissions made by both sides of the table. She has been guided by suggestions and advice from Dr. Farijan, who is present in our meetings. Uh, she has communicated to and has reported to be in communication with the Secretary General of CARICOM in relation to the return of the team. And those decisions will be communicated to us via email tomorrow, she says.
So what is before her?
What she has before her, the number of tables. She has before her a proposal from the CARICOM Secretary General about streaming the process so it can be observed by observers who may not be here. She has before her some of the other considerations that we would have raised in relation to what she had to make decisions on. So she's and also part of what she's undertaken to do is communicate with the COVID task force in relation to clearance, etc., on their conduct of this process. She is, I believe, is capable, and I know I am confident in her ability to make the right decision.
The issues which were on the front of the table would have been the question of the number of workstations and the overall question of the duration for the exercise. There are different propositions in that regard. There was the outstanding proposition which was made yesterday about 6 with the possible 8 workstations, and there was the other outstanding proposition which was made of 20 workstations. And we went back through that argument in relation to the two different propositions. Upon us reconvening, she indicated that CARICOM had expressed some concern about the 20 workstations from the standpoint of the number of people who would be assembled if we were to have 20 workstations. This is a concern that I had raised on a number of occasions in making my own presentation, because the calculations show that if we were to have 20 workstations, we're going to have somewhere in the vicinity of 300 persons assembly. And it's my humble opinion that in the context of COVID, that you cannot have 300 persons assembly in one place at this time. In that regard, I laid a square on the table that if the exercise I was envisaging was to take 2 hours per box, that would require 64 hours. If it was to take hour and a half per box, that would be 48 hours. If it was to take hour per box, that would be 32 hours. So we made that clear as what the propositions were, because the amount of time spent in a box has to be one of the vital factors determining how much time we spend overall. And sorry, I said 64, 48, and 32. That's days, not hours.
Not hours.
That's days, not hours. Before the chairman for her decision would be the question of duration. Which question has embedded in it the number of stations.
And
she wants to take into consideration consultations that she will have with COVID, because she thinks that that's a critical element, and the consultations which she's had with CARICOM.
Is it a case of her choosing one of the other proposals, or can she come up with an amended consensus?
I would think she can come up with what you call a consensus.
Is there room for that to be challenged?
What to be challenged?
Whatever the chairman
when she comes up with something, it's a question of how it is seen in the commission. The tendency in the commission has been, unfortunately, down the line. And therefore it gives her leverage all of the time.